On the first night of May, ILLIT woke to the sound of a bell no one else seemed to hear. It came from the old greenhouse at the edge of town, where the glass panes were clouded with moonlight and the vines climbed like black veins. They had never gone there after sunset, but tonight each of them found a silver note tucked beneath her pillow, written in the same elegant hand, "Come before the month remembers you." Moko was the first to laugh, though her smile looked borrowed. Wonhee, the quiet one, held the note as if it might bite. Minju said the letters felt warm, like a hand just removed from hers. Yuna, impatient and bright-eyed, insisted it was a prank. Iroha said nothing at all, but her gaze kept drifting toward the window, where the moon hung like an unblinking eye. They went anyway. Inside the greenhouse, the air smelled of rain and old perfume. In the center stood a mirror taller than a door, framed in silver thorns. The surface did not reflect their faces. It reflected 5 girls standing in the same place, on the same night, in the same greenhouse, but each one wore a different expression, as if they had already lived through this moment and were trying to warn them. Then the bell rang again. The world folded. ILLIT woke with the sound of the bell and found silver notes beneath their pillows. Again. At first they thought it was a dream, but each loop carried a new detail. A cracked flower pot, a drop of blood on the mirror's frame, a muddy footprint that did not belong to any of them. Every night of May, they returned to the greenhouse, and every night the mirror showed them a version of themselves they struggled to recognize. In one reflection, Moko was crying. In another, Yuna looked furious enough to shatter glass. In another, Wonhee reached toward the mirror as though someone on the other side was begging for help. The 5th loop broke them open. Minju, who had been the most skeptical, touched the mirror first. Her fingers sank into the surface like water, and the greenhouse filled with whispers. Not ghosts, not exactly. Voices. Their own voices, layered over one another, speaking from other May nights, other forgotten attempts. You left me here. I was the one who wrote the notes. Don't trust the girl in the mirror. There is no mirror. The truth arrived like a flash of lightning. The greenhouse was not trapping them. It was keeping them together. Long ago, before the loops, before the notes, before the first bell, one of them had cracked the mirror to save the others from something unnamed and terrible. The price was memory. Each May, the month returned the debt by splitting their identities into fragments, making them strangers to themselves until they found one another again. The notes were not a threat. They were a signal from the one who remembered enough to guide the rest home. And the one who remembered was Iroha. She finally spoke, her voice shaking with the weight of all the nights she had carried alone. I wrote the notes because I was afraid you would not choose to stay. I wrote them because every time the month began, I watched you become beautiful strangers. I wrote them because if I forgot you completely, I thought I might survive it. The others stared at her. Then, one by one, they stepped closer until their hands touched in the dim green light. The mirror trembled. Outside, May's rain began to fall harder, as if the sky itself was trying to remember. This time, when the bell rang, they did not run. They sang. And the mirror cracked not into danger, but into 5 bright paths, each one leading back to the same truth. They were not lost girls trapped in a loop. They were the force that kept pulling each other back from forgetting.